Hi, I'm Brad White. I'm the chair of Unity Temple Restoration Foundation, or UTRF. I'm also the associate director of the Alphawood Foundation, one of the major donors for the restoration of Unity Temple. And here I am on I guess this is the second balcony in the sanctuary at Unity Temple. And I have many memories of the building over the past, I guess, 30 some years. Or 25 some years. I think the first time I really enjoyed Unity Temple was Landmarks. It was then called Landmarks Preservation Council of Illinois. It is now called Landmarks Illinois. I believe I was the chair at the time, so it was the mid-1990s, and we had a conference here in Oak Park. At that time we had annual conferences in the summer. We went all over the state, and that year it was in Oak Park. And it was that day when we had the plenary and the opening, and as the chair, I got to give one of the opening addresses from the pulpit right down here. And that experience was just amazing because, Wright designed this sanctuary so that from the pulpit, you could see everyone in the congregation. And also from the congregation, you could certainly see the pulpit and you could see other people. And it wasn't just back to back of people's heads. It was actually faces and smiles. So it was really, I still have a really vivid memory of that day and of that, I guess it was morning when I gave that short address. Now, at that time, Unity Temple had not been restored. And it was I think in 1970, 71, UTRF was founded, and in the mid-90s, UTRF was still trying to raise funds for restoration. It had done several projects along with the congregation in the building, but it was still, even in the 1990s, it was apparent that this building needed a lot of work. So then, flash forward to 2014, when Alphawood came to the Unity Temple congregation and wanted to talk about the restoration of this building and about raising funds and about actually investing in the restoration. So here I was back in this building after being here for a couple programs in between, but here I was back in this building and going, oh my gosh, look at the opportunity we have here. And so the construction team, the design team, the congregation, everyone was assembled, and we moved forward to restoration. And it was spectacular. But I have many memories of during construction, particularly here in the sanctuary, when the sanctuary was just filled with scaffolding. And I actually got to climb the scaffold, which went all the way up to the ceiling, got to climb the scaffold and really see this room and this building really close up. And it was spectacular. And I went to other parts of this building, got really to see it close up. We also had challenges along the way. We found things that were in worse condition than we had believed them to be. We found a few things that were in better condition. But all in all, it was just quite an experience with regard to the restoration here, and with regard to really learning about Wright's design, and really understanding the color scheme. And because the colors here, when I was here in the mid-90s for Landmarks Illinois meeting, were not the colors we have today. Because those colors were interpretations, those colors were latex paint painted over the existing walls. What we've done in this restoration is restored the original colors and the original glow to this building. It's just spectacular, particularly here on a mostly sunny day. It's so fun to see the colors just pop out. And it's so fun to see the different colors and how they kind of change color depending on how the sun and light meets them. So it's just wonderful to be back in here today. This is the first I've been back in since before March 13 of 2020, and we all know what took place at that point in time. But anyways, you know, flash forward from through the restoration to the opening of this building in 2018. 2017, I'm sorry. In the summer of 2017, we reopened. I believe it was a June weekend. It was a beautiful weekend. The sun was shining and streaming in, and we had scores of people here in the sanctuary. And again, I was able to stand at the pulpit, and this time give a speech welcoming everyone back into the building, and really highlighting the work that had been done by all of our team. It was a fantastic day. And one of the things I pointed out, which I still believe is one of the most important things about this building, is that, you know, we often restore buildings, we often rehabilitate buildings, but not as often use them for their original use. And this is a case where we've restored this building, and it's still the congregation that was here when it was originally built in 1909. So it was a fantastic day, that 2017 day, and we've had many programs since then. We've done a lot of work since then to raise some funds. Unfortunately, the past year we've had to forego on-site programming, although we've had plenty of programming on our online platforms. So that's been fantastic. But it's so good to be back here, and it brightens my day to be in here. I don't know how else to explain it, and I'm looking forward now, moving forward in the fall and next year, into doing more in this building and using this building again. I do have to say it's held up pretty well, particularly since we haven't had anyone in here. The congregation has not been in here over the past year and a half. But I also see that, how would I put it, that the pews look lonely. It looks like they want to welcome people back, and I know when the congregation comes back in for their regular services, that it will be fantastic for them as well, and fantastic for the entire structure when people are here and visiting. So I just want to say that you know, in the upcoming year, look forward to our new programming, and some of it will be on site. Some of it will still be offered on an online platform. And more important, this is membership month. And we're trying to increase the number of members, because this building, even though it hasn't been used so much over the last 16 to 18 months, will always need maintenance. It will always provide programming to the public. And as a result of both of those things, we're going to need to have we need to fundraise, and we need to have members, and we need people interested and supportive of Unity Temple Restoration Foundation and Unity Temple. So I encourage all of you to join and to join us as we reopen Unity Temple along with the congregation over the next few months.
Quick question for you, Brad. Backing up a bit, when you were speaking about Alphawood's, of course, integral involvement in the restoration, where did that relationship start between UTRF and Alphawood? Because certainly it didn't just all happen in 1 year.
No, the Alphawood Foundation has had a long-time relationship with the Unity Temple Restoration Foundation. I'm not exactly sure when the relationship began, but the Alphawood Foundation basically began in the early 90s. And I think relatively soon thereafter, we were giving operating support to the Unity Temple Restoration Foundation, because we believe it is so important to the upkeep, to the maintenance, and to the programming that goes on in this building, and to the longevity of Unity Temple itself.
Thank you. Great. And then you briefly talked about the time that you've had during the restoration and climbing the scaffold and getting that experience. Was there any point during any part of the project that was surprising, or maybe caused a little worry but turned out okay?
In Unity House, which is more of the social part of the building, it was discovered that we didn't really know how some of that ceiling was being held up because the steel rebar had disintegrated and deteriorated to such a great degree. So that was a big challenge, but the design team and the contractors met that challenge, and we resolved it and took care of it. There were many things along the way but as construction projects go, we knew a lot going in. We got to know more as we went through it, but it went fairly smoothly. But I think that the most exciting parts of it were getting all the stained glass redone, so that this building really shines. And one of the most interesting parts of the project, and I got to use a little scope to look at the plaster work, was to see how the sand grains and how the paint interacted to get the texture and the colors on the walls. And just getting to the colors that we decided upon was really, really interesting. Now, we had experts. I'm not an expert at that. But it was just really interesting to see how the evolution of it and how they uncovered what the colors were. And even behind some radiators, we found some original colors because the painters just never took off the radiators and painted behind it. So we were very fortunate to be able to do that. And I think the other thing that really stands out to me in Unity House, there's a first floor there's a second floor on each side, which have been used for classrooms and things over the course of the years, and had been the light that was supposed to come through those windows and into Unity House had been shut off because the areas had been walled in. And what we were able to do, while still maintaining conference rooms and classrooms, we put we lined the wall with glass so that the light could still come through. And that has just changed Unity House in a way that we couldn't have changed it without taking down those walls. So I could go on and on about different stories. But those are 3 or 4 that really come to mind.
That's great. What a great experience you had. So any last things you'd like to mention? Otherwise, I'm going to...
No, just please join Unity Temple Restoration Foundation.
Thanks, Brad. And as Brad said, if you'd like to become a member, please look into what our various member benefits are, and you can sign up at utrf.org/membership. And thank you, Brad, for all of your many years of service to UTRF and to Unity Temple. It's folks like Brad and all of our members that help keep this going and help us accomplish our mission of long-term preservation for generations to come.
Thank you very much.